Hi, how's it in the name of Christ? How you doing? It's your girl, Cranky Karabo. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're stellar. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, well, welcome to the party. It is what it is that we do, isn't it? Just a whole bunch of sadness every single day. It's hot. Every time I switch off the fan, I just boil. The story of my life. I'm a boiling woman. Literally, I'm angry and I'm hot at the same time. Just problematic. Okay. I don't know if I will ever learn how to lay edges, but these ones are not making like the potato chips at all. Laying. Let me just put some caveats out there. Currently, no, not currently. I wanted to say kindly, but there's nobody kind, so I take that back. Alright, please look out for my captions down below. They're not always accurate. They're doing their own thing. They sometimes are misspelled and use a small g for God, because they are like Aleister Crowley. They do what they want because that's the whole of their law. But one day I'll put them in a neat little bunch, God willing, should that happen. And when that happens, I'll feel better. Okay, so I'm really hot. Like, I'm boiling. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we're just taking our stride that thing. Secondly, I may or may not be wearing application makeup. If I am, you will know, because it's going to be bouncing up and down on my face like that. It's going to be on and off and on and off and on and off like hazards. And yeah, I'm not shape-shifting. Promise you. I'm filled by the Holy Spirit, not demons, so that's not what's happening. It's an application. Thirdly, yes, my little segment. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't take a jab at me. Don't take a jab at me. I don't know why people are missing. Don't harass me badly. Do a better thing. Just do not afflict me. 'Cause when you prick me, I do bleed. So I don't know why you hurt me, but I know why I stay with Christ. Amen. Boom. I blush my cheeks to evidence that when you prick me, I bleed. Moving on. Okay, we're done singing. We're not gonna do that anymore. Alrighty. How am I feeling? It's just okay. Not that anybody cares, but a really rough time is coming on the human race. Look out for it. But I'm feeling better than yesterday because, oh, what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Makes a difference. Huge. Just absolutely massive. And yesterday, I guess, I conquered exactly what it is that was slapping me. Yesterday, walking around in slow motion like I'm the Terminator. Today I was better, so hallelujah. However, the attacks have not quite ceased. The cessation of hostilities against my person, that has not happened. And with that being a total thing, I'm just like, you know what, do you grab whatever portion of a dying planet you want to grab and hold on to it, and see if God does not like just kick all of it like a soccer ball, just all of it. In a coming time called the Great Tribulation, it's happening, but people are in denial, living dangerous. I'm an alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm an alien. Na-na-na. I'm an Englishman in New York. Except I'm a Christian in this blob known as the Earth. Okay. Except it's already a blob. Like, the creation is groaning to see the daughters of God revealed. And sons. Just people of God. My hair's so messy. Ooh. Ooh. My hair. You know what? It's my hair, and I get to do with it what I want. My hair, she don't move. My hair, she don't move. My fro, do not go. She's just chilling in the same place. My hair it don't move, because it's in a growing mode. I'm gonna keep it in this for 3 months. And then you're gonna be like, man, her hair did not move. My hair, it don't 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 move. My hair, my hair, oh my hair, it's my hair, oh my hair. It don't move, the only thing I'm moving are my hands, yeah. We're not doing this, just like my hair. Sorry, that had to happen. I just felt like releasing it. Anyway, yeah, my ministry's like my hair. My hair, it don't move. My it don't move. My head, it don't. Ooh, that happened. It don't move. It don't move, no. It don't move, no. My hair, it don't move. My hair, it don't move. My hair, it don't move. My hair, oh, it don't move. My hair, my hair, my hair, it don't move. Just like my ministry. I'm boiling. I'm boiling. My hair don't move. Looks like don't nothing move. My hyperpigmentation don't move. It's just chilling on my cheeks. So much stagnancy of everything. It's just wrong. Dark spot, it don't move. Dark spot, it don't move. Dark spot. It's like my hair. Nothing's moving. Chapleste chu. It's so frozen. Okay. Oh, disgusting. Goodness. I wanna dance with somebody. Yeah, my hair moved a little. Don't you think I don't you think I sounded like a cow there? Like a cow. Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, they don't want animals anymore. And so people are hiding cows in their backyards just so they can keep having beef. So when the drones of the World Economic Forum come and check your backyard, they look around and they see that, okay, it looks like it's just people here living on the property, nothing, and the bugs. And the next thing, just as the drone is about to leave, they then hear... And then next thing, there's a farmer protest because they try to keep the cows in their backyards in the basement, but there was a bleating of sheep and mooing of cows. That's what a megalomaniacal society produces, guys. A society of people trying to force people to do things they don't want to do. People are gonna do it anyway. They're gonna rebel. They're going to insist on having cows in their bathrooms. When you come and check to see if these people are housing meat, because we are supposed to be eating the bugs, you be like out here, you know, being monitored by a government official. And then next thing, from your basement, next thing, you've been caught. Oh snap. It wasn't me. Next thing, you've been busted for owning cows when you're supposed to have no meat, just the bugs. The world is headed to a place of that level of megalomaniacal control of people. But people are going out to be busted proper. Cows in their basements. Entire farms. Releasing methane gas and nitrogen and all different kinds of emissions at the expense of the apparent climate. I'm just saying. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. 1 minute. Okay, there was a buzzing bee all up in my grill. I had to get rid of it. It was gonna distract me. Coupled with the fact that I'm scared I might get stung. I didn't mean to do that, but it does key into my message. And what is that message? That when you try to force a person to do something they don't want to do, if that human being still has all of their faculties intact, are entirely human, in other words, have not been robotized by, say, a mark of the beast, they're gonna do what they want to do. Whether or not you that megalomaniacal creep trying to force them to do something different. My hair don't move, because that's just what 4C hair does. It stays in place. It don't move. And then we also do these hairstyles that doubly make sure that hair don't move. But the way that my hair is just stagnant in one place, it's not going anywhere even when I shake it. Shake it. Come on, baby. Let's do that twist. It ain't going nowhere. It's gonna stay there in all of its matted state. It's not flowy. It's not bouncy. It's just sitting. So too is my ministry. I've been lamenting about the stagnancy of my ministry for a minute. And all that which I am observing is very heartbreaking. One of the biggest reasons why I was as afflicted as I was yesterday. 1 minute, guys, I have to aerate this place because I used to do. Yes, I killed a bee because it was all up in my grill. Conservation, confirmation, conspirmation, I don't care. Don't bug me and I won't kill you. But when you come into my space, you die. And that's exactly what's happening to all of these random fools in the occult. They're living dangerously around a woman whose interruption of the life of is gonna end them in the worst way. I've been saying it, but they don't believe me. So I guess people just need to wait to attend some funerals. Is that basic? Okay, listen up. Megalomaniacals. One of the biggest reasons I was very sad yesterday was, yes, I was demonically attacked. There was certainly a demonic affliction of my person that I could feel in the worst way. and I have had to conquer it over this past 24 hours, prayer, all that jazz, and I do feel better. I'm of course not perfect, because I'm never going to be perfect until I get my life back again, should the Lord see it fit to do that. But whatever God is doing, let that run and reign, let that rule in these streets, because that's all that matters. But let me just put this out there. When you try to force people to do that which they don't want to do, they're gonna do it anyway. When has the human race ever been any different? I implore you to just go and scan history and see how it keeps repeating itself. People don't get kept in a neat bunch by oppression. They rebel. Like, it's just human nature. Yesterday I was brokenhearted. Yes, I'm always brokenhearted, but yesterday it was especially poignant because I mistakenly glanced on my my numbers. Like on my YouTube channel's numbers where I find myself. I mistakenly did that and noticed that I was going absolutely nowhere. The thing about it is, I know, I'm aware, but I make myself live in a cloud and a bubble of protection, where the only thing that keeps me going to do this work that I do is essentially pretending that I'm being listened to. I literally enter into a mind space where I envision an audience around me and me talking to them. And believe you me, it works wonderfully, swimmingly, like a charm. Maybe not a charm, let's say a miracle, a blessing. Okay? It has worked for months, and the way that I pretend that that everybody is watching me, that I have an actual audience, is by uploading content and moving on. I dump and I dive. I've already communicated this in the past. I upload content and I move on. I make 100% sure that I don't see my numbers, my stats, like as in how many people are watching me. I make doubly sure that that doesn't happen. I have a strategic way of opening my studio on YouTube. I take the whole entire screen and I shift it to the far right of my Mac computer until the windows disappear, I guess, and cut out what I don't want to see. And then only I go in my editing studio where you don't get to see stats, you don't see numbers, you don't see how many people have viewed, how many people have liked. All you see is just a video, and that's it, with its title, where you edit basically, like where you say that you want to change your title to this and that, or you want to make it suitable for kids or not suitable for kids. That place, if you are a YouTuber, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you don't gotta get into the details to comprehend. I go into that page that shows me no numbers and I upload from there, and I also publish from there. But should I, for whatever reason, need to go in that creator studio where you see all of your stats, I move my computer panel all the way, my window all the way to the right, to hide using my computer the section that shows me number of views, likes, comments, blah blah. I just hide it. I hide it so that I can keep myself thinking that I've got an audience. I upload on multiple channels, so all of them are open Gmail accounts that I switch from. On YouTube, if you try to switch from one account to the other, you automatically see there how many subscribers you have. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to see traction. I don't want to see progress. So how I prevent myself from seeing the number of subscribers that I have is by squinting my eyes. So if I'm trying to change over to another channel, I squint my eyes and I move really far so that I can see the more or less thing that I'm trying to click on. I have used different profile pictures for all of my 4 channels. They don't all have the same profile pic, so I know which channel I'm clicking on just based more or less on the fuzzy image that I see, that this is this channel, this is that channel, this is that channel, and I click respectively on each of those channels one at a time when I'm trying to upload, by squinting my eyes so I can't see what's written in a way that is legible, but I can more or less see image, like just basic figures, like shadows, the way that you would see if you wear glasses, the way that you would see things if you're not wearing glasses. They're blurry, but you see more or less what it is. That's how I make myself see, by squinting my eyes, so I see just more or less what I need to click on, but not the details. That blocks me from finding out how many subscribers I have. That prevents me from finding out, therefore, how stagnant I am. I am not so deceived as to imagine that I'm not hearable, that my content is not consumable. I am too smart and too sober. That's what you need to comprehend. For me to imagine that I lived up to the age of 29, being respected and listened to by a whole planet of souls that were interested in hearing what I had to say, and that somehow one day at the age of 29, everybody just stopped being interested in what I have to say. If I had grown up in this world. Please, just allow me to click. Allow me to click. Allow me to click. Is there no way of silencing this thing? And when I'm in the middle of rapping, of doing what I'm doing here. Yeah. If I had grown up having a mental illness, having a learning disability, having a talking disability, and therefore having discovered from people's reactions to me opening my mouth that they can't figure out what I'm saying, or that they don't want to listen to me speak because, you know, I mean, I'm incomprehensible or whatever, I would have gathered those cues that I garnered for myself all throughout my life to conclude for the rest of my days that when I open my mouth, people generally don't pay attention. People generally are not interested in what I have to say. So then I would just expect that I would be just blabbing, speaking a whole bunch of jibber jabber throughout my life with people completely ignoring me. But no, those dear humans were not my experiences, me growing up. And by growing up, I mean all the way up until a giant age of 29. So I was a whole adult, fully thriving, independent in this world, living by myself like a whole independent soul. Yeah, I got to those 29 years of age being heard or listened to when I spoke. So much so, I'm doing edits just in case you're wondering. In the background, y'all know that I do that. So much so was I regarded as worthy of being listened to. Listen to this, okay? When I was working in the call center, one of my bosses, my second job ever, my boss, there was just one lady, had a child that unfortunately fell sick with cancer. And her child had now to be homeschooled. He could not continue to go to school every day because he was very, very sick. And 702 Radio had this fulfill a wish, fulfill a dream competition that they had running, where a person had to write in a letter to basically put forward their case, present their case, and 702 would then consider it and fund the whole dream, fund the whole case. Yeah. My boss wanted some homeschooling enablement also tuned into teachers at this boy's school to train him, seeing as my boss was not learned in homeschooling, but now she had to all of a sudden homeschool a kid, and she did not know how to do it, so she wanted to see if she could not tune the boy in to the school where it is that he studied. That was before the days of Wi-Fi. That was also before the days of technology that made such things possible. There was this advert doing the rounds on, on YouTube right now, some school called Teneo here in South Africa, that is a schooling platform that, however, does have teachers involved, but kids are at home where they stay instead of actually going to a physical brick and mortar structure. Something like that, but without it being Teneo, it was this woman trying to create a form of Teneo for the child that is not regulated by the government, but one that she was trying to get approved. And she imagined, and she also wanted, she would have to finance it herself, buying the cameras, buying the whatnot herself. She would have to finance it all. And she listened to Radio 702 where they said wish fulfillment, blah, blah, and decided that she's going to enter this competition and write in for her child so that she could get all this equipment enabled, so that she could make this thing a possibility for her child that was passing. No, I can't really say the child was passing away from cancer, but he was diagnosed with cancer. All right, and this woman came to me because of the interview that I had with her, I guess, and also just my ways. It was a call center. Every so often she used to listen to my calls. I had also written some formal complaint to her and her boss about what was happening to me in the company. Yeah, and she read that complaint. The situation was dealt with and ultimately put away, blah blah, what a fish paste. So she was aware of my spoken talents as well as my written talents, and she decided to tap on my shoulder to ask me to write for her this motivation to Radio 702 that she might perhaps win a wish at the radio station for her child to continue schooling in this fashion. She asked me based on, like I said, her observation, not observation, but her, yeah, I guess it would be an observation, but based on her experiences with my eloquence in spoken form and in written. And then she imagined that the teams at Radio 702 that would basically choose the winner and what have you, she imagined that if I wrote it would increase her chances of getting those teams to choose her as the winning writer. as the winning entrant into this particular competition. That's just one thing that's happened to me before. I don't know what since happened with that whole thing, because shortly after writing her that letter, I quit that job, moved to another place, and I did not have contact with my former bosses. So I don't really know what happened. But bottom line is, I'm trying to explain, is that somebody acknowledged when I was just 21 years old that I was so eloquent that she could put her son's future in my hands, at least for that particular essay. That's just one thing. Then, when I continued to progress through life, I don't know how many friends asked me to edit their essays, vet them, check them. One was so brazen enough so as to ask me to flat out write all of it for her. I told her where to get off, of course, because that's what we do when people are trying to take us for granted. However, that ought evidence to you just how much people have absolutely adored listening to me speak all throughout my life. How people have absolutely adored not only listening to me speak, but reading what I've written. I've got the gift of the gab. I am an orator in the worst way. Top of that, I'm a really skilled writer. It is why I've got a blog where I write, and it is why I've got a YouTube channel where I talk. Because audio-visually I'm gifted, so too am I in writ. That girl is not something I've ever doubted. It's something that's always been a thing all throughout my life. My mother, whenever she's got things that she wants other people to imagine she's done excellently in, always consults me to basically do all of the tweaks and edits on her whatever she's doing. Cousins, etc. When I was in high school, this one deputy principal guy that was out here rebuking me for something terrible that I did. Oh, be afraid, be very afraid. Yeah, he apprehended me, or at least was trying to apprehend me. And he called me into his office on some little girl. What have you done? Terrible little girl. Okay. And this deputy principal that I was told on to, and yeah, proper, if you get to the deputy principal's office, it's bad. You're not being yelled at by the teacher at this point. You're seconds away from even the principal herself. The principal was a female. Very well. I go inside this man's office. He has never in my entire life, at least as at that stage, really it wasn't that long because I was only in grade 9. He had never seen me. He had never spoken to me. I was just another number in his school. That's what's good. This deputy principal, and this is now high school, okay? This deputy principal guy calls me in. I go and I hang 10 out in his office, waiting for him to come and scold me with his words. He then asks me, your name is Karabo Hlongwane. Very well. What do you have to say for yourself, young lady? Out here intimidating me. I was like, ooh. Anyway, yeah. I believe this deputy principal guy had called me in because a whole bunch of us, kids in my class, during substitution one lesson, we decided to go and mix the sugar of the home economics class with the salt, and we did some funny stuff, and I think a couple of us were called in. So I'm just trying to put it out there that I wasn't generally a wayward kid that would be out just seeing the principal. This was a whole class issue. We all messed up, okay? And I was among the kids that were called to account for her actions. Okay, here it is that I'm sitting in this office waiting all timidly for this man to come and tell me where to get off. We then start having a discussion. I explain myself indeed, not that there was any excuse that I had to explain to him, and as I was speaking, this man literally just ended up sitting there with his hand on his, with his chin on his hand, just agreeing with me, listening to what I'm saying, because I was out here I was trying thoroughly to explain to him how it is that things got there. I used psychology in the sense that I was trying to make him feel as if though there was just this problem with neglect of really gifted kids in the school, and we just didn't know what to do with ourselves, and here it is that we were feeling all abandoned. And so for those reasons we ended up doing something that was entirely out of character. Really and truly, I speak for the whole class. We feel so bad. What we did, was treacherous. It was basically a sin from the pit of hell. Okay, I didn't say that because I wasn't born again yet, but I basically owned up to everything that was done. And in my conversations, he stopped probing me and just sat there and listened and appeared really impressed. So I just continued and continued. At the end of the conversation, he then asked me, how would you like to every so often just rock up all up in our grill and explain to us what it is that the students need in order for us to make these improvements? So I started out being a miscreant and I ended up being an advisor. I said, very well, sure, I would love to be your advisor, but then I bailed. I never went back to see him again. He never ever saw me again in his office. However, from that day, he never forgot my name. Every time he would see me, instead when people were like, hello, Mr. Van der Westhuizen, and he'd be like, hi kids, hi there. Yeah, with me he was like, hi Karabo. He knew my name. He knew my name. That was a great name. He knew my name all the way to matric. Y'all don't trip. He knew my name all the way to matric because I was the very smart girl that essentially largely contributed to the, not exoneration, but lighter punishment of us all. What was the punishment? They made us pay for the sugar and the flour and the whatnot in the home economics class. They made us contribute. They said that we have to bring 50 rands from home or whatever. And that's what we did. We paid them back. The punishment could have been a lot harsher, but it wasn't. But I was enabled to become somewhat of an advisor. I was supposed to be part of the advisory council of students, but I just, like I said, I bailed. I didn't, I don't have to, ain't nobody got time for that. I was not very serious when I was in school with big matters. I wanted to be alone. I wanted peace. I wanted freedom. I wanted to be a butterfly, and I didn't have time to be agio kissing behind of teachers and being a teacher's pet. There was just no fun in any of that. So I never took that offer up. But I'm trying to help you understand that when I speak, people tune in and they kind of like stick around like bubblegum. Actually unprepared even to leave because they like bubblegum in the sun underneath your shoe. It gets all wiry when you step up off it. So really and truly, proper cleanup is needed in that instance if you're going to get rid of how sticky somebody is. I'm sticky like that bubblegum in the heat of day. That's me. I am sticky, and I know that I'm sticky only because my teacher stuck to me, my boss stuck to me, the one with the letter, my friends were out just sticking to me to a point, okay? Of one of them out just trying to get me to write their essays for them. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that, please, I ain't doing it. Anyway, despite not wanting to do it, she asked that favor because she did not imagine anybody better existed in these streets to put her point across. I was chosen for such a thing as that. Interviews of mine very rarely lasted 10 million years because within the first 15 minutes of what was supposed to be a 30-minute interview, I was already being asked, so what is your salary? What are you prepared to take? When can you start? Etc. Because I just win crowds over, okay? Panel interviews and everything, whether it's one solitary human soul in the room or 20, I slay. Yeah. Now that we've put that out there, understand that having gathered that kind of data all throughout my life, I was not so naive as to anticipate, or rather ignorant. I think the better word there is ignorant. I am not so ignorant, or was not so ignorant, so as to anticipate on the day when all of a sudden there was a deadbeat freeze, like an Antarctic freeze, like a Snowpiercer freeze if you've seen the show, like a whole minus 300 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit and 1000 degrees Kelvin minus freeze. When that happened, I was not so ignorant so as to imagine that, oh goodness, I guess I'm really boring. That's never been a thing. I've never been boring, like ever. I've always been the life of the party. I've always been the eloquent life of the party. I've always been interesting to listen to at the party. And I've always been, therefore, the one that is invited to the following party. 'Cause I'm that girl that will surprise you with conversation. I've never been boring, but I easily get bored of some people, however not all. Granted that I've never been boring, I therefore find it odd. It's kind of anomalous for me to see, my speech is all messed up because I'm still undergoing that whole situation with the demonic attack. I have never ever gazed upon any of this random incendiary activity against my life as, I guess I grew bored overnight. I suppose spores hatched on me, a spawn of nothingness and lethargy just hatched in my genetic makeup, like slap bang at the detail or at the level of DNA material, and then just imprint it into my unfortunate DNA. Boar. Like just the word boar. Like instead of TCGG, it just like started spelling BOER. Nah, that's never been me. Ain't no genetic mutation out here happening. I did not inhale some strange gas that changed my mental constitution. I am not suffering from dementia. I don't have a mental illness. I don't have anything going on. So therefore, seeing as there's not much that's changed ever since those formative years, why under heaven would you think that I would take in my stride that I'm boring, Nina? Khale, get the life of the party. When I was working at MTN, so you can understand how BORE, and then maybe even with the D is nowhere to be found in my genetic sequence. When I was working at MTN, I used to go out of my way to book boardrooms. Yeah, like if you were to look at my calendar, there would be multiple boardrooms back to back, chilling next to each other. It would look as if though I'm super busy or whatever, even though I'm not really. It's something that actually could have gotten me in trouble, but I took it anyway because I couldn't deal. Okay, yeah. I would book these boardrooms only because if I did not book boardrooms and just literally sat in there to work, I would never get anything done. I would never get anything done because my desk, I used to like saying I'm like a hive or some honey, and my colleagues were like bees. I was just always encircled by these bees, or maybe I was like sugar and these randos were like ants or something. There was always someone at my desk. Sometimes it was so bad that there would be literally like 4 or 5 people all just having a conversation with me, vying for the same attention. And I'm just like, very well if we were talking about work, but we started out talking about work and then it just meandered into some funny little other conversation, and then it's like a whole party. And I was like, I can't, guys. I understand I'm the queen of conversation, but I have like a whole project to deliver, so we can't do this. But I couldn't tell them, get out of my face, we've done speaking about the marketing plan. I would go and sit in a boardroom and just chill there for half an hour, then move to the next boardroom for 2 hours, then move, etc., etc. I could go on. Sometimes I would book a meeting, I would book a boardroom for like 2 hours when my meeting was only for like half an hour or for an hour, so that I could stick around in there for the remaining 1.5 hours doing my admin, etc. Very well. The reason I did that was in order to avoid not getting my work finished, because I had a thing about loose ends. I did not want them. At the end of the day, I needed to get all my deliverables out that I had set apart to do for the day. And if I had sat at my desk, I would never get that done. I would never ever get that done. I had this colleague that used to call me on some, so which boardroom are you sitting at? And then I would tell her, and then she would come and sit with me. The Indian girl that stabbed me in the back, yeah, she knew my boardroom habits. My boss didn't mind insofar as my work was done, but like I said, if you looked in my calendar, you would think I'm not available. But then again, people at MTN used to invite you to a meeting anyway when you're not available, so it helped that they did not care for that protocol, because then I would accept a meeting miraculously despite that particular slot looking like it's all busy because of my booking of boardrooms and everything. The whole honeybee / honeycomb / sugar / ants situation was because I'm not boring. I told you, it's not part of my genetic makeup. It's not who I am. I know how to linger in a conversation with a person. I know how to keep them engaged. I know how to keep them feeling important in that conversation while also adding my own insights. In the case of YouTube, I am a child of God. And so being a child of God, I speak to the hearts of men in a way that God wants to speak to them. The Lord has seen it fit to use this gift He's given me from the time I was a kid in order to reach people in a special kind of way, in order for me to be relatable in a special kind of way. I'm sticky like bubblegum like that. As a result, I have endured all throughout my life some pretty heinous passive aggression, jealousy, because people were bittersweet. They loved to hate me but hated to love me. I'm very intelligent, and every so often people are very competitive with me for those reasons. And so they always try to jump in my words when I'm speaking, overtake me, overwhelm me, and some days even flat out be mean to me. And when I break away from them because I realize you're actually making war with me, you're not trying to have a conversation, They then are like, no, I didn't mean it that way. Come on, you're so sensitive. And I'm like, but dude, you're literally insulting the living daylights out of me as we are talking right now. So they like my company. They want to humor what I gotta say, but then they get so competitive with me that they insult me. And so it becomes this like hot cold thing going on. So a lot of the people that afflicted me were among the bees encircling honey. In other words, they liked me, but they wanted their bread buttered on both sides, where it is that they get to have what it is in me that they like, but also put me in my place. Make me not feel like I'm that important and that special. So they shot themselves in the foot by breaking the heart of someone they actually really like. Very well. With people doing that to someone that they actually really like, upon there being years, upon years progressing, where this human individual that you really liked is never mind not only not in your life, but they want nothing to do with you now that they know that you're like a whole sorcerer. It's made all of them hella gangster possessive of me, where it is that they're like, you're not gonna get to share any of those butterflies with anybody else. And I'm like, wow. So I gotta now die in obscurity, isolation, and solitude because I don't want you in my life, because I don't like you anymore, because I have written you totally off, because I have door slammed you in the face. I now gotta be door slammed, avoided, and entirely eradicated from society because I don't get to be with anybody else unless it's you. So I'm dealing with people who from my life are thoroughly trying to keep me from being happy with people who will respect all that I have to offer. So the gift that I walk in Christ to speak these things is one that is no different from how it is that I walked back in the day. Very relatable, entirely able to hit some nails in some coffins, and extremely helpful. I am that thing. And God uses my experiences, meshing them together with all of my storytelling to put basically the gospel across in a way that can be grabbable, reachable, extendable, lovable, and run with itable in these streets. These people who listen to the scriptures, who listen to me speak, albeit being low-key edified, because that's how people have always been all up in my grill. Went on right ahead to doing that which people have always done all up in my grill. You're edified, but you ain't gonna let me see it. Heck no. For real. You're smart, but I ain't gonna let you know it. Heck no. For real. You getting somewhere. I see where you're coming from, but ain't no way I ever gonna let you know. For real? Yeah, those are called toxic people and I want nothing to do with them. I'm done out here in these streets, but unfortunately, these hella toxic green vibes, because they're oozing some green gas, the way they're so toxic. They're entirely toxic. Yeah, they are oozing this green gas. They also don't want me to be seen by anybody else. So they are literally sitting with all of their sorcery on my ministry. They're sitting on my channel. God has enabled me to reach people in a way that I guess they feel as if they can just sit in a beanbag in front of a fire on a very cold day with some hot chocolate and marshmallows and just melt in it. Yeah, somebody that people can sit around the fire of like that. I've got human beings that are now frozen like little icicles outside of my warm little winter house, prepared to stand there being barriers to entry to anybody else seeing me. People that don't want Christ, they don't want to repent, because then that means they might actually have to stop doing what they're doing. It's like I've written a Johari window, and in one of the quadrants of this Johari window, I have put down a list of people that I want absolutely nothing to do with anymore. And a lot of the people that have done this to my life, if not all of them, are chilling in that quadrant of the Johari window. They've been written off. And so they're trying to block everybody else in my Johari window from being a part of my life. They are harassing me with silent treatment and trying to make a woman that is thoroughly aware of how impressively intelligent she is think that she is stupid, incomprehensible, somewhat of a mental nut that is unhearable, that is incomprehensible, that nobody can actually heed. That's what's good. Except all throughout my life, they're the buggers that tried to get me writing essays for them, taking all of my time out, that they might just sit around and pass handsomely through my literary skills. These are the same people who asked me to edit their documents. These are the same people who asked me to edit their emails before they sent them to their bosses. These are the same people that asked me to help them with speeches. These are the same people that imagined me so incredibly catchy in the way that I articulated myself, that they wanted a piece of that they might look impressive to others out there. That's what's going on. These people have gone out of their way to block the living daylights out of me from being seen and heard anymore, hoping that I'm somehow going to arrive at some funny, strange conclusion that the reason why nobody's listening to me is because I just suddenly developed a genetic mutation called bored, or boredom, or bore it, or bore. I get bored. I've never been boring. I have, however, had batuba boranga botlhoko hampe break my heart. I am hard to walk away from because I am relatable. And those who don't want me to go and enjoy my life, live, be merry, fruitful, multiply, have decided that it is a necessary evil that I should literally pass away, die, rather than them have to observe me being all joyful with everyone that I've chosen to be part of my camp now, that they're not anymore in the future. These possessive, random, beastly monstrosities anticipate that I need to negotiate with them to do a better thing, or I die. Except herein lies the deal, beastly monstrosities. I spoke about some of you 2 days ago when I was lambasting and lamenting against these licentious men with their little Gorbella agenda. But this time I'm not just speaking to men, I'm speaking to men and women. Mamelang, you are living dangerous. I will keep saying that again and again. I do not need you to repent, monstrosities. I just implore you to do so because it is in the best interests of your future to do so. Save doing such a thing as that, you shall surely cease to exist. You will literally die. I'm not out here making some jokes. People are facing precipitously the end of their lives because of all of these chock-a-blocks. Gage, I'm not that lady Onakaza, deputy principal at my high school. I'm also not the lady that wrote my boss's son's essay. I am also not that lady that was accosted for having attitude for refusing to write an entire essay for university by a friend once upon a time. Yeah, I'm not that chick anymore. Why? Because this time around I'm born again. And so you literally can't afford to just give me attitude, whole bunch of bad vibes and everything, because I don't want to write your essay, or because I don't want to humor you, or because I don't want to be part of the band of students that are out here giving tips to the principal of the school as to how to run things better. It's no longer just random earth advice that I'm giving. It's no longer just random in these streets counsel. I'm breathing out. I'm no longer just exhaling tips and hints on how to deal with a bad guy. I'm giving the gospel. That's what y'all need to understand. I'm trying to make disciples of all nations. That's what needs to be comprehended. That's what human beings must wrap their brains around. Granted that that's what needs to happen. If at all you function as a barrier to entry, oh minuscule one, comprehend that you will be knocked out the way by your creator, by the God of the universe, who has only one prerogative on this earth, and it is to gather for himself a people for his own possession. He's been doing that for a minute, ever since he called Abraham from a people that were foreign to God, and then made out of him a nation. He's been gathering for himself a people. Never mind ever since Abraham, ever since Adam and Eve. But the official call to go and just create a nation that is going to be God's, yeah, that's what's good. That started with Abraham. Ever since those faraway days, the God of the universe has been doing one thing and one thing only: auditioning a whole bunch of earthlings for an amazing environment called heaven. It's eternal, don't nobody there die. Everybody's happy forever, they don't cry. And life is just like really great because you're pretty forever. Because you're forever young, you want to be forever young. God has been gathering for himself a people to give that special, spectacular gift to. Really. I mean, imagine it, right? Your mom and your dad making a decision to buy you the baddest car in the game as soon as you turn 18 with your driver's license. And then you're like, it's alright. It's okay. That is unfortunately the majority of the human race. They don't know what in the world they're being offered. All of y'all with your Botox. All of y'all with your collagen, like puffy powders from the store. All of y'all with your surgeries and your eye lift and your bag removal and your covering gray funny little shampoos. All of y'all with your lift the boobies up, lift the booties up. All of y'all with your eradication of cellulite. All of y'all with your liposuction and your rhinoplasty. You don't even know what in the world you are doing when you pass up on God, seeing as you're that spectacularly vain. Seeing as you're busy putting your face back up together again with sticky tape called surgery, and somebody is offering you forever youth. And you're like, it's okay. Really, it's alright. Because I don't believe that you can do that. And yet you can't stop putting fillers in your lips. God, ever since the creation of man, has been offering whoever will take up his offer all of that plastic surgery without the surgery, and the permanence of all of that perk and pert forever. And people are like, it's alright, I'll go for Dr. 91210. Very well, you and your botched surgeries, do what you want. But granted that many are called but few are chosen, and the harvest is plentiful, however the laborers being few. God understands that this mission of his to gather for himself a people for his own possession is going to be met with great resistance. So much so did he foresee that this would be a thing that he said in his word, that was his communication of himself on the earth, the revelation of himself on earthlings' lives. In earthlings' lives, he said that the road is narrow that leads to life, and few there be that find it, and the way is also hard. So he set out to gather for himself a people for his own possession, to give them forever life, no pain, no sorrow, no tears, no nothing, no aging, alongside holiness perpetually, always doing that which is absolutely perfect and right. And like I said, no dying. So it's just like living and living and living and living. I don't even know what that is gonna be like. People here on earth, they covet eternal life. They wish they could have it. Immortality is like a whole big agenda with the transhumanistic movement. And yet, as evil as we are, who wants to live forever? I'm already exasperated with this earth, and I'm only 39. I've been exasperated since I was 29. The whole time I've been wanting to die. Why? Because to live is Christ, but to die is gain. And precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. I have understood there is a kingdom that I am going to inherit, that I have already inherited, frankly, that is going to translate me into a place where I'm going to live forever and ever without all of these glitches and twitches of this fallen place. This earth is too evil, and because of how evil it is, if people were given immortality in this plane, they would kill themselves. If people were awarded immortality, unless they end their own lives, they would literally commit suicide in their numbers after 400 years of living, after 500 years of living, after 700 years, after 8, after 1,000, they would kill themselves. Because who lives in such a declining moral climate of a lonely society that does not have one another's backs forever? I was happy until I was 29, and then I lost everything. And for the past 10 years, I've wanted to die. And the reason why that's the case is because human beings have made me super lonely. They've made me not want to continue to thrive anymore. They've made this place pointless to live in. They've taken away my career. They've taken away any sense of purpose, anything that I can do to basically keep myself busy on this going concern that is the earth. I've been stolen from all that. And so all I want to do is die. I've been begging God for 10 years to take my life. And for 10 years, he's been like, no, we're not doing it. You've got a job to do. Get up and eat, for your journey is still too great. Indeed, just exactly the same thing that Elijah experienced. When Jezebel pursued him, telling him, may the gods deal with me ever so severely if by this time tomorrow Elijah's not dead. And Elijah's like, she's busy killing all of your prophets. Just take my life, please. And God told him, get up and eat. Your journey's still too great. There are 7,000 others that have not knelt to Baal. That's what happens when you out here do something wonderful and spectacular on a fallen world, like Elijah doing the miracle on Mount Carmel. When you get a response as wicked as that of Jezebel's, you want to die. So those who seek after immortality, when you've got such an evil world full of jealous creeps, full of entitled randos, full of people that will withhold affection from you just for the sake of making you feel like you ain't jack, people that are doing everything in their power to put you in your place, how in the world are you going to live 500 years with that kind of mental insanity? How are you going to do that? Don't you see? Immortality makes no sense unless it is within a pure realm where no one is going out of their way to hurt other people, where there is no murder, where there is no grieving, where there is nobody there to break your heart until you want to die. So all of human beings' desires for immortality, all the best. I wish actually I could find out. I wish that we could be given some kind of a makeshift scenario where it is that the transhumanist movement prospers to give human beings transferred consciousnesses into other bodies, vessels that have been manufactured from a laboratory. I wish I could see what that world would look like. People would probably be catatonic 1,000-year-old zombies that are fed up with mean-spirited souls that don't love them anymore. Torn relationships between parents, siblings no longer getting along. Yeah, 1,000 years later, I think that just calls for a little bit of a noose, you know, swing on it like a pendulum, start to hang. Because don't nobody want to live in a world so full of betrayal. And seeing as mankind's moral turpitude has increased over the ages, we are not getting better, we are getting worse. We're becoming more and more self-absorbed, we're conceited. It's written in God's word in 2 Timothy 3 that people are lovers of themselves in these days, lovers of money, boastful, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, despisers of those who do good, treacherous, haughty, truce breakers. Like, there's just no end to the moral turpitude that mankind is living in. So, I mean, if it is happening in 2024, that kind of moral debauchery, what under heaven is going to be the case in 3024? Ass like it, guys. Worse even than right now. Y'all need to understand, you cannot keep yourselves in a bunch because all you can do is morally decline, especially when you think there is no God. That fool in his heart says there is no God. When you think there's no God, you come up with your own rules. And so when you come up with your own rules and all that anarchy, everything goes. And when everything goes, those that you can hurt will inevitably be hurt by you. And those that can hurt you will inevitably hurt you. And so it's just going to be this cantankerous, like, flying chaos in the sky that's going to cause a whole bunch of, if you want to, you could be immortal, dude. Just, you know, make sure you don't kill yourself. It would cause a whole bunch of people to commit suicide anyway. Proper suicide in a world of immortal beings would be a depopulation management tool. That's what you must understand. There is no way under heaven that we as a human conglomerate can actually survive immortality without holiness. But nah, you're naive. All we can do is stab one another in the back. But nah, you're naive. All we can do is ransack one another's futures, but nah, you're naive. And hey, Queen Cat, this is not that kind of party. Told you, everybody likes me, including my cat. We cannot survive a society full of immortal beings, save for their own suicides, without society actually becoming moral. Here it is that Klaus Schwab is trying to force you to eat bugs. Who lives through that? Who lives to an inability to consume cow's meat? I mean, I'm not a fan of cow's meat. Frankly, I don't eat red meat. I'm a big chunky fan of shigion. I'm out here in these streets trying to eat some calamari fish, you know. But there are people that can't live without beef. And given that that's like a whole thing, somebody be trying to actually take away cows. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get to a point where you're like, you know what, I want a cow. And somebody like Schwappy is gonna say, no, you're not gonna have a cow. Then you're gonna have a fight over not being able to have a cow. And then you're gonna kill the person that doesn't want you eating cow. Or maybe you might even commit suicide because, I mean, really, you're so sick and tired of a vegan diet. There are so many reasons why people kill themselves. I'm trying to help you get that apart from God, you cannot achieve immortality in any successful way. I guess that's the reason why the Lord God Almighty did not allow for the transhumanistic movement to actually catch root. He won't allow it. It doesn't get there. The end comes before we can be transhumanized, before artificial intelligence takes over, before there is singularity, God takes over. He doesn't allow that to happen. But if he were to allow it and you were to gain some kind of a semblance of immortality, understand you would depopulate yourselves through your own suicides because you're too evil. Human beings are evil and human kings are untrustworthy. And yet here it is that I'm dealing with all of these cantankerous, beastly, immoral randos trying to prevent me from doing that which is reasonable, feasible, and sensible. They are possessive of me. And in their possessiveness of me are like, ha, you're not going to get anywhere. Your YouTube channel is going to be all smothered and silent. And I'm like, do you realize that I'm not the same thing I was back in the day? How exquisitely interesting I am is no longer relevant for the purposes of merely being exquisitely interesting in an earthly capacity. I am exquisitely interesting in a heavenly one, meaning I am a very important employee of the kingdom of heaven. I have a job to do. You made sure that I don't work anymore, but no, God is like, sorry, I gave her a job, and the laborers are few. Y'all, I mean, that's the Bible. Harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are very, very, very few, and I'm one of them. And you're trying to get rid of that. That's how funny it is. Even my cat is looking at me funny for laughing like that. It's hilarious. Now you are going to be eradicated instead of me. I cannot be silenced for no other reason than the fact that I am few and far between people working for this kingdom, And God has only one thing that he's doing in keeping this going concern going. Gathering for himself a people. And those that send out the word that get people saved, gotta go and do that. And if at all you're like, no, sorry, chest on it, I'm sitting, God is gonna be like, okay, let's shoot dead the bugger sitting on my disciples' chest. Y'all are facing actual imminent death. I've been saying it, but you don't believe me. You are living dangerous. Let's move to the next part.